Carolee again with more pieces of me. I'm here to continue on with my hair series onto my day 3 hair. So I'll call this my day 3 hair, but this is kind of one of my intermediate hairstyles that I do regardless of what day it is. Day 3 seems to be like a good day. Day 1 is just my simple side pinup. Day 2 is it all down and all straight. And so day 3, sometimes I like to go curly. Sometimes I like to do this half up, half down do. So figured now is a good time to show you how I do it. And this is probably one of the hairstyles that I get the most questions asked to me about, which is kind of interesting because it's not too difficult, but I do have a couple of tips and tricks. Okay, so my tools today are pretty similar to what I've been using on the past videos. I am going to be using again the thermal heat shield from by Not Your Mother's. I do have dry shampoo. I have a handful that I alternate over and over, and today I'm going to be using Tresemme. And hairspray. I usually use Tresemme hairspray as well, but I have now run out of it, so I'm moving on to this spare bottle that I have of Not Your Mother's Miss Freeze freezing hairspray. And then also my holy grail piece. You need one. If you have not gotten a teasing brush yet, you definitely need one. I will say that this hairstyle is impossible to do without a teasing brush, so make sure that you have one of these, or else proceed at your own risk. Okay, so let's get started. Similar to the other two, I'll just go ahead and start by applying my dry shampoo. This one doesn't really leave too much of a white residue, and I just really like the way it smells also. A couple of pieces in the back. Okay, so it's all sprayed in. This one really didn't leave any white residue, so I basically just rub it into my hair until I no longer feel that it's wet. I will also spray my bangs, which my bangs have grown out quite a bit, but okay. And I'm just gonna comb through it real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my thermal heat spray. I will run my flat iron over it in a little bit when I'm finished, you'll see. But just to kind of get some of the bed head kinks out of it. Okay, the next step is basically the same way I styled my last two hairstyles, is teasing the crown. So take my teasing brush, start probably just about an inch away from my hairline or so, maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches. Pick up a section and tease. And back spray. I think a big trick to this hairstyle is just the fact that you really do need to get a lot of tease to it to get a lot of volume, otherwise it'll just kind of fall flat, or it just looks like you don't have a hair in your bum, and that looks kind of awkward too. So the more you can tease it, the better off you will be. Okay. So it looks like this awesomeness. Just comb it back just a little bit, just so it's not so crazy messy. Like so. The next step really is just to pull it back and up, and so you could pin it in the back. One thing that I was doing before that was tricky was that I was literally taking the entire top half of my hair and trying to put it up in a bobby pin. Well, my hair is really, really, really thick, so I feel like the trick is you just kind of want to skim the surface of your hair and leave the majority of your hair down, but you're really just trying to pin up this bump. So I guess what I should say is the less hair you could put in the bobby pin, the better off you'll be, because otherwise the more hair you try to pin back at a time, it's just going to weigh everything down and it's going to flatten out your bump and all of that stuff. So rather than taking all of this hair, just skim and take the top portion. So it's just a very small amount of hair that you're taking over the top surface of your hair. And I'm also not coming down here to my ears to do it. Again, it's, you want to pin back the least amount of hair possible. So I come probably about 1.5 to 2 inches above my ear and start from there. So I am like this right now. Once I have hold of my hair in the back, I just push it forward. And it's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. So you could just go ahead and start pinning it, and then you could shape it a little bit better once it's all pinned and secured. But this is what the initial bump looks like. Alright, start with the bobby pins, which I guess I should have said earlier is another one of the tools that you'll need, but you're doing the wavy side down against the scalp. And as I'm putting these into my hair, I basically go in from the right side and I'm applying it as one leg of an X, and then I'll put the second bobby pin in the opposite direction, coming up from the bottom left side and finishing off that X. That also helps to keep your bobby pin secure. So now I'm coming in from the bottom left and crisscrossing it up. And then I'll basically just keep alternating bobby pins from the right side to the left side to the right side, making a few X's until it feels pretty secure. Okay, so I've got 5 bobby pins in here right now. That is it. So there's just a little bit of shaping that you need to do afterwards. And I really just kind of use my fingers to try to pull it out a little bit, just kind of fluff it and shape it. It actually looks pretty good. Okay, so my bangs will fall forward a little bit, so what I do is just kind of give it a little bit of a tease. And pin them to the side. And what I like to do when I'm just using one single bobby pin and I don't have a second bobby pin to make an X with it, to hold it in place even better, what I like to do is, well, let me just show you. So first I'm doing the wavy side down, I'm pinning the bottom of it, and I'm coming from the top down. Then I pull out on the bobby pin and end up pushing it up. So I'm pushing it down, pulling it out, and then pushing it up. And you'll be surprised how well your bobby pins stay that way. Okay, just give it a little spray. Alright, I'm just gonna run a flat iron through it real quick because there's a lot of little random waves in it. I'm really not doing this to make it bone straight, but just to get some of the kinks out. looks good enough to me. Alright, I am ready for spray. I just spray it and pat down any flyaways. And there you have it. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know.